Anybody know what this is? F-117 Nighthawk. It's a stealth fighter, and it's now available in Sea Power as a mod. The interesting thing about this plane is, I don't know when to use it. Here's why. The F-117 is a bomber that makes it suitable for engaging ground targets so long as it has some support. In this little scenario that I've put up, we have a couple of ground targets coming in here. The RA-5 is looking for them, and I also have an E-3A scouting, or at least I would. Regarding the stealth fighters, they're great aircraft because they are so sneaky. You can get an extremely close approach with these birds because their radar cross-section is absolutely tiny. If you look at the F10 menu, that's the dev menu, go to sensors, you can see that the own RCS radar cross-section is tiny. So they're very difficult to pick up on radar. Not impossible. If you look at an E3A, it's going to say medium. If you look at an RA-5, it's going to say semi-small. So these things, even though being pretty much the same size as an RA-5, I imagine, they are very difficult to detect. The interesting challenge with these birds is their payload. Because how do you use these birds? Well, you get a couple of different loadouts. The F-117 comes with the GBU-31. It is considered a missile, and it supposedly has a range of 13 miles. That might make it interesting to use against a surface ship. However, it has no guidance. So the problem is, if you want to use it against a surface ship, you better make sure it's stationary. How do you make sure it's stationary? Hit it with a missile. And hope they hit the propulsion section. If you can hit it with a missile, why not hit it with more than one? However, if you want to use these against ground targets, like a stationary radar site, you can. That'll definitely work. Option 2, the GBU-10, laser guided. That means you need to have something with a laser guidance on it. And thankfully, these birds come with a laser designator, so that's an option. However, their range is not great. You almost have to fly directly over a target. Once, however, you get this bomb on target, you will definitely be remembered. Because most of the time, the target's not going to be there anymore. So that'll definitely make an impression. Option 3, GBU-27 Paveway 3. An even bigger bomb, bunker buster capabilities. It is devastating. I knocked out a Krevac when I was testing this thing with one bomb. The problem is, once that Krevac turns on its radar and spots you, it will shoot you down. Because you have no recourse. You got no chaff, you got no flares, you got nothing. No jammers. Once you're detected, it's pretty much game over. Now, let's see how well these birds do. I have 3 of them here. One with the GBU-31, so that's the JDAMs, one with the Paveways, and one with the Paveway 3. I have a couple of targets lined up. Hold up. I set an airbase on this scenario, and apparently it actually launched a plane. That's pretty rare. I wonder what that is. Let's get the RA-5 to get a closer look. I'm getting a bit tired of this camera. Turn that off, please. There. Bandits. Oh, they got a P-42. That just took off from the airbase there. I rather doubt we can eliminate an airbase in one go. But I'm just curious to see how much damage those JDAMs will do. Let's see what sort of damage we can inflict. This radar site still needs to get nailed down before we can actually rain death upon it. You're going to go here. You are going to take your Paveway 2s and knock out that laser, or that radar site. And you, my friend, are, for now, going to wait. You're not going to engage just yet. I gotta say, I really love the model. I think it looks positively gorgeous. And this was one of my favorite aircraft when I was growing up. I believe they're no longer in service, but this, especially when growing up, when playing Command & Conquer Generals, it was my favorite aircraft. And the 17 in my username, in my gamer tag, if you will, is a bit of a nod to the stealth fighter. Alright, let's go and engage this airbase here. It's going to take a little bit of distance, but we need 13 miles. And we're almost there, we're 22. Against that radar installation, we're going to have to close the distance. I'm just picking it up on emissions. I need something a little better. I need to get visual, ideally, so I can get a laser designation on it. You are probably going to be in range pretty soon. Interestingly, once you open your bomb bay doors, your radar profile does not change. Your radar cross-section is still tiny. I think this is because the game doesn't model the fact that you now have an open bomb bay door, and the game still considers the plane not to have changed models, if you will. But of course, this is going to definitely draw a bit more attention from a radar site, if they were actually interested. There's one, and two. And you can go back to base. There we go. Folds back up nicely. And we're turning around. The beauty about these JDAMs is you don't have to actually tell them where to go. These things are just locked in on the airfield right now. They're going to float around. And you don't have to tell them where to target. As opposed to the paveways. Can we laser designate this? Yeah, we're lasing it. You can see the range is actually pretty good. The game doesn't really do it justice, but the higher up you are, the better the range on the paveways is. So I'm about 10 miles out and I can actually hit this radar installation. And therein kind of lies the problem. Because yes, you can do this with a ground-based target, so long as there isn't too much anti-air around. If you try and do this against a ship, good luck to you. That probably isn't going to go over as smoothly. And that's why I said in the intro, I'm not really sure how to use these. I'm not really sure what role to give them. But I'm sure that some creative scenario designer is going to have an interesting idea about that. Can you try not shooting down my Nighthawk? This thing is supposed to be invisible. I need to get that other Nighthawk in to eliminate that medium AAA they got there. Here's another bit of a problem. But that goes not strictly for the Nighthawk, but mostly for anything with a laser designated bomb. You need to keep pointing at the target. If not you, then somebody else with a laser designator has to keep pointing at the target. And that makes it kind of dangerous, because you're going to have to just approach the whole time, and I can tell this aircraft to veer off, but it will not do it until the bombs have arrived. Speaking of arrival, we have hit the Pecora airbase once. And this one looks to be going for one of the plane... Huh? Okay, that was mysteriously absent. Let's see what the GBU does. Right on the money. Excellent. Now, we're gonna laze the medium AAA. Are you already lasing it? You're engaging 7005. Excellent. 7005 was targeting me. It now isn't. So it definitely isn't going to be as effective as it once was, once it lost its radar guidance. And that's good news for this stealth fighter up here, because it does not really want to get detected. You really do not want to get shot at, let alone by a fighter, because you simply won't survive. These aircraft are very fragile. They're not fast either. They can do Mach 0.2, oh sorry, Mach 0.9, and that's about as good as it's going to get. I do like hitting these anti-air sites right back on. Your RTB, very good. Now, we still have the airbase there, and we still have 2 paveways, so I see opportunities for further destruction. They do have this thing active. I wonder if I'm getting detected. I don't believe that's something you can tell in the game, though. The only way you typically can tell is if you're actually getting shot at. I'm going to throw one bomb at it, and then I'm going to try and find... Oh, there you are, the Krivac. And we're going to get a bomb delivered to the Krivac. The Krivac is on radar active, and that'll make it more dangerous. Bombs away. Of course, I could have laced this airbase with that fighter. Well, stealth bomber, essentially. And just gotten the damage in that way. Let's see if this one also disappears. It does not disappear. And it does not disappoint. Very good. Let's go and nail that Krivac. Or at least attempt to get it. I kind of doubt we'll get close enough. But maybe we can approach real low. Of course, this isn't quite what the stealth fighter, I think, was supposed to do. Because the cruise altitude for this thing is 35,000 feet. So that makes it a bit less likely for you to have to approach real low. Only to pop up late. And thus still behave like a normal plane. It doesn't really give you that many more benefits. If I do close at low range, of course, it's going to keep me a bit safer. I'm gonna laser designate the Krivac. Unable to laze. Maximum range. Not stated. 23 miles. What's my maximum altitude? Let's go to 45. 20,000 feet. Range 15 miles. And keep in mind that a Krivac 2 is one of the lower threats on the spectrum of violence. Yes, it has SAN-4s, geckos, and beyond that it has guns. That's the threat that this thing poses. That's the threat. If the SAN-4... Oh, they can shoot me down at 100,000 feet. So, yeah, if they get too close, they probably will engage me. Laze it. Almost there. 31,000 feet. Yes, yes. Laze it. Kill it. We're doing a high level ingress. Yeah, the aircraft doesn't want to launch at 40,000 feet. It's going to try and go down to just below 35,000. At this point, the Krivac might start getting a little annoyed. Yeah, it's maneuvering. It is maneuvering, which is probably because it's trying to get this stern launcher into position. The bomb is out. Well, it also has a bow launcher. The bomb is out, but it doesn't necessarily mean you'll get a kill. And therein lies the problem. Because you can try and get the bomb out, and then you might go, ah, I'm gonna get it. No. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. I've been detected. And then some. There's 2 SAN-4s coming up to meet me. I can only hope they run out of gas before they get there, but I kind of doubt it. Oh, they both missed. How about that? How about that? I'm still getting lased by the Krivac. Well, radared. Unfortunately for the Krivac, it doesn't really have time to launch another weapon at me. And that's an instant kill on a Krivac 2. So if you can get those Paveway 3s away, they will immediately sink big ships. Well, smaller ships. This is a frigate. Against a Kirov, I rather doubt you'll be able to pull this off. I rather doubt it. Their sensors are better, their weapons are better. Maybe if you send a whole wing of these things, but that kind of defeats the purpose. As far as I understand them, they're snipers. They're supposed to just get a quick bit of damage in, and not really stick around for any long time. Anyway, I did want to show you guys the mod. I think it looks great, this model, and there are probably ways that you can use this aircraft to snipe targets behind enemy lines. That's what they were for, at least that's what they were used for in Iraq, I believe. So, with that, yeah, if you got a great scenario for these, let me know. Ping me either on my Discord, leave a comment, and let me know what sort of scenario you think I should be playing with these things. Let me know, and I'd be happy to show it again. Thanks for watching. Link down below in the description to the stealth fighter. Have fun bombing things from stealth.